Here we go. Yep. The fuck you doing?
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 29th installment of Bull Sitting on TSWS Gaming. This week we have Google Stadia giving us a prelude to the future that awaits GameStop. Call of Duty Beta doing record-breaking numbers, and lots of rats being scorned before their due date. Press like and subscribe if you're not afraid for the dystopian future digital-only gaming has in store for us all.
Oh my god.
As usual.
That was so political.
That was the opening monologue.
Oh my
Ham
god.
Solo, Cozy Beluga, we have our usual cast on the panel. Cozy, are you feeling rosy? What have you been playing this past week?
You know I'm feeling rosy. I'm still hooked on Slay the Spire. Like, why? I mean, I've been playing Overwatch 2 and getting ready for Overwatch 2. What?
That is 2 weeks now you've been playing Slay the Spire.
But it's addictive. I don't understand. Why did I sleep on this game? And then they were like, get some points by playing Slay the Spire. And so I was like, okay, let me try Slay the Spire. So I tried it. I was like, why is this so much fun? Why?
And now you cannot stop.
My camera? Yeah. I don't know what just happened. Oh, I pressed the camera go away button. What?
Right.
My camera, my keyboard also has a dedicated calculator. Okay, sorry, continue.
Okay, Hamothy, are you feeling legendary?
Am I feeling legendary? What does that even mean?
That's the question, bro. Are you feeling legendary?
I guess so. I mean, I'm feeling good.
Feel good.
I've been playing some Resistance Fall of Man on my PS3. I've also been playing a lot of Gears of War 2. Going through all of the Gears of War. There were a few that I missed. Like I missed 2 Judgment Day and 4. I have 4.
Wow.
I own 4, but I've never played it. So
you're not missing out. 4 and 5. 4 and 5, just you're not missing out.
Oh, whatever. So yeah, that's what I've been playing as of lately. I finally got my setup pretty much complete. I got all my things able to turn on except my NES and my Super Nintendo, which I just don't have enough switcher spots for them. I'm also running out of plugins. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
First world problems. Welcome, Oshus. Welcome.
Hey.
All right. Let's jump straight into it. This week we're gonna have a pretty short one. No quiz time. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. Google Stadia is shutting down. Users are losing access to games. This comes to us from GameRant.com. And I quote, the Google Stadia streaming service is officially shutting down. And while users will be getting refunded for their purchases, they will be losing access to their games. The good news is that Google will at least be refunding Stadia users for all their purchases made through the Google Store, with most of those refunds expected to be finalized by mid-January 2023. That will coincide with the service's shutdown date, as Google has confirmed that Stadia will be shutting down on January 18th, 2023. Cozy, are you at all surprised?
I am not surprised. You know I'm not surprised, because I've been saying I am the one of us here that is the big cloud gamer, and I've been saying my issue with Google is how they manage their projects. And how I know, as much as I don't want Stadia to fail, I've been saying for years, because it's Google, they're going to, kind of half-ass it. That's just Google. And then it's going to fail because they aren't really going to dedicate it to it. The best thing that happened is they didn't buy some major studio and take it down with them. That's like the plus. Is also that they're giving people back their money. Stadia worked wonderfully. It did exactly what it, but Google did not have a good plan for it, and Google isn't going to be like other companies that just wait it out and continue to push things. Like, you know, everyone like jokes about Amazon and their venture into gaming, but they're consistent. Their steps, it's like with their Prime Video. They kind of like make baby steps here and there, and sure, it's going to take them a long time, but I don't see them just dipping out and being like, bye. I don't see them closing down, what is their game? Their World's game. Their MMO. It's still like doing things. It's like quiet, but they're moving. Google, they were just like here, and then they kind of like half-assed it, and then we're like, well, bye. That's Google. Okay, rant over.
Jeez. All right, Ham, are you at all surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. They didn't have enough of an ecosystem, in my opinion. It was just cloud or don't. That's it. And I think that's kind of what killed them, is not really having a suitable structure for the world. We're not talking about just, you know, New York and some of these like bigger cities. I mean, a lot of people don't have either good internet or internet at all. And if you're depending on it to run a video game, it's just not that good. I mean, I've heard you plenty of times on here, Loke, say that don't talk to me about xCloud. I don't care about xCloud. Well, if you don't care about xCloud, you probably don't care about Stadia, because it's the same thing. It's cloud gaming.
Yep.
And why don't you care about it? Of course, because the internet is just it's so wishy-washy. It's not that you don't got it.
It takes me a day to download a game that's more than 50 gig.
So, I mean, the world does not revolve around, or America is not the world, is the best way to put it to me.
Even in America.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Even here in America, there's places. If I go 100 miles like north, I'm not getting the same quality of internet that I got right now. I'm not.
Yep.
Not saying Stadia can't run off of it. I'm sure it could. But just thinking about that, think of a lot of people that are looking into buying into an ecosystem. They see Stadia and they're like, oh, I got to be on the internet to even play it. My internet at home ain't that good. That's your average consumer. They're not looking and calling the internet company or looking at their, you know, modem and making sure that they got they got the power. They're just thinking, oh, internet sucks. I don't want. Simple. Compared to when you have Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, where internet, yes, it is a factor in a way, some ways, but you can take those games away. You can play a lot of games without the need of internet. Or if all it needs is a check-in because of DRM, if all it needs is a check-in, but you're not actually playing online, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Welcome to Big. He says digging the new branding. Mahalo, my brother. Thank you. You're one of the people that has actively contributed to the new branding and the growing TSW gaming. Thank you very much. Welcome, BitCloud Gaming. I hope you bring the heat as usual, bruv. Bring the heat. All right. Moving on with this one. Okay. So before we move on, usually I just stay in the middle ground and I let you guys go off. I have to go off on this one. Google Stadia is the classic example of premature launch. I'm not going to say the other one, but yeah, Google Stadia is a genius idea for like 2030, 2035. But for now, it's not viable. There's a reason why Xbox, even though they have xCloud, they're not making it the main thing. There's a reason why they're still making consoles and will continue to make consoles. If you heard Phil Spencer's last interview on the whole xCloud thing, expanding in Japan, etc. So this was inevitable. The same way when the new Logitech handheld was announced last week, I was like, this is dead on arrival. I felt the same way about Stadia as soon as they announced it. I was like, dude, 90% of the planet is not going to adopt this. What are they doing? And it's Google. Cozy, you said Google is known for half-assing things. I thought about it the opposite way. Google is Google, you know? It's one of the biggest companies on the planet. I just wrongfully assumed that they did their due diligence and they had the money to take the losses until 2030, 2035 and try and cultivate a player base until then. Clearly, they underestimated how hard it would be to break into the gaming industry.
Oh, Google, though, they are, so I think, people say Google is Google. Google is not like a lot of other companies. They abandon things. They abandon things very quickly relative to many other companies. When I say like, oh, it's Google, people who have followed a lot of Google products and stuff like that and Google's attempts at doing things have watched Google do this, where they'll make something and then drop it. Like, 2-3 years, they'll just drop it. And you'll just be like, what? I was actually building it. And you don't need necessarily you just need a consistent player base that's just kind of like there. They didn't need the globe. They didn't need everyone to adopt, but they just failed at so many levels. And the writing was on the wall once they were like, hey, we're not even going to push our in-house studio to make things. We're just shutting them down. Once they shut them down, I knew that they had no faith in their product. You don't see Amazon, like, who uses Amazon service? Like 3 people. But you know what Amazon is doing? They're like, we're still gonna work on this. Like, even when they first rolled out like Prime Video, it was this very similar concept. Against Netflix, people weren't actually watching Prime Video. They had like 2 shows. Like, people weren't subscribing and caring about their shows. But they just continued to kind of like work on things here, there, and then until they had something to show for it. And Google didn't do that. They could have had a Google-specific MMO or something that would just be like, oh yeah, this is only available on the Stadia. And if it was good, you could get people to just at least buy in for something. But they had nothing that the only thing they had that you can't get in other places was the best streaming. And it didn't make up for all the other deficiencies. Okay, that's it. Rant really over.
Thanks, Paul. We trying, man. We trying. Thanks to your guys' support. We're trying to come up. Moving on with the article, it says here, the Stadia technology will still be used by Google, with the technology set to be implemented across YouTube, Google Play, and augmented reality projects. Google also plans on making Stadia technology available to other gaming companies. Many employees who have been working on the Stadia team will be relocated to other departments at Google. Cozy,
yes.
Is this like an important footnote, or is it nothing?
It's important if they actually seriously plan to implement the technology, which I don't see them shuttering, because the technology is great. If, I don't know, maybe PlayStation could use their technology. I don't know how feasible that would necessarily be. Because they would have to, because, that's a lot of infrastructure changes, and we know PlayStation sucks at infrastructure.
And they already has the Azure agreement with Microsoft.
I mean, agreements, that's like, the same thing with like, the Call of Duty agreement. They're usually short term, they can be, but I think the big issue, the big thing is really that, changes in infrastructure like that take time. So even if they were to use, any other companies were to be like, oh, gaming and otherwise were to use that, it would still be a long way down the line, because they have to change all their internal stuff. And as someone who's worked in a lot of IT for a long time, that takes ages. Like that would be like a project that's going to take at least 5 years. And 5 years is a short term for changing, your back end. That's like a very short time frame to change your back end. But I'm excited about, like, I guess, possibilities for augmented reality to see what happens with that, and to see how, their developments play out in other areas, because it's fantastic technology.
All right. Welcome, Dilma. Ham. Stadia tech being used in other areas of Google and also with other gaming companies. Is this something or nothing?
Say that again. I was answering somebody in the chat.
The Stadia technology will still be used by Google. It will be implemented across YouTube, Google Play, augmented reality, as well as being available to other gaming companies. Is this a nothing burger or is it a McMuffin?
What the hell is a McMuffin supposed to be?
It's something that matters.
It's something. Right? It's better than a nothing burger. I mean, would you rather have a McMuffin or a nothing burger?
I don't know. Sometimes I'd rather have just a nothing.
What?
But
Stop the cap. Go ahead.
But anyways, no, I think this is definitely something. This is something to keep an eye on. Like, what the hell? I mean, because we all know that their shit worked, and it worked well. So to see whoever is looking into possibly getting into that, like into their technologies and using what they have to offer, that is a big deal. Like, for instance, if like Sony, like Cozy just got done saying, if they were, to be done with the Azure servers, they know exactly where they can go to get good quality. Like, it's pretty much Stadia at this point is a commercial of what Google could do, but what they weren't willing to really back. They'd rather have somebody else do it and just use their stuff than them actually put effort in themselves to improve their stuff. Like, they're like, here, flourish off of our stuff. You can do that if you want, but don't ask me to do anything. You can use my shit, but don't ask me to help you use it.
All right. Stankmore says it's nothing. I disagree with Stankmore, but all right. Let's move on.
Google, I'm curious why Stankmore says that.
Yeah, feel free to expagorate in the chat, Stank. We're curious. Google giving gamers refunds for Stadia hardware and software they purchased is great, but there are still those who are upset about losing access to their games. It serves as a grim reminder about the downside of digital gaming. There's always the chance that these companies could shut down their online services and in turn cause gamers to lose access to their gaming libraries. So this leads into my opening rant. Osha says Stadia was DOA. Dude, Captain Obvious in the chat. That's Osha's.
Right.
Cozy.
We all knew it was doomed from the get-go, but the thing was we were wondering how long it was going to go, and I thought maybe they would like announce a partnering with something before they actually shut everything down, but they went on ahead and just said, hey, we're done, but we got some stuff at our garage sale that you might be interested in.
I would have expected, honestly, for them to like buy Sony. That's what I would have expected.
Oh man, I love what Stegma replied.
Yeah. Stegma says, "Nah, I was saying I'd take the nothing burger, lol." So Stegma does not like McMuffins.
Noted. That's clear.
Noted, bro. Noted. Cozy, is this a grim warning for digital only gaming, or are we just conflating a reality that cannot come to pass because we can't compare Google that just came in to Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo?
And Steam, I think it's a little bit of column A, a lot of bit of column B. Like, for example, you can't compare Google Stadia coming in Because a lot of Stadia's failures were not failures of like the issue of it being stream only, were failures of Google. Google can't run a good business. And then in addition to that, there have been historically other companies that have just done, and they didn't even give you your money back. You just lost everything. But but now digital marketplaces are pretty much established in a way where you can easily, and it's been that way for a while. Like, for example, a good example of like, oopsie, that's not like, is when Humble first came out and first started. I had Humble games. I can't get them again because they weren't tied to an account. There is no back end for them. They were just a code. I entered the code in and it was like, bam, there's your digital game. You have it on your computer, and it wasn't tied to any service. But nowadays, most things are tied to some sort of back end. You have your account. And so a lot of that is, yes, theoretically, you could just lose all that stuff. But there's so much that goes on into these systems that I doubt there's going to be a day where it's like, one day Steam is like, we're just going offline. We're just going offline. Everything is gone. Because these systems are so built up. You used to see more of that, where things would just be like, we're going offline, we don't exist anymore. When the online marketplace is no longer a new frontier. It's not like that anymore.
It's more established and stable. Hamathy, do you agree with Cozy?
Yeah, I'd say yeah, for the most part.
Okay, so before we move on, there's two burning questions. One, do you guys believe that Xbox caused Xbox purchase of Bethesda?
You are trolling right now. You look at this asshole.
Look. There's an article circling. There is an article circling that Stadia execs are blaming the purchase of Bethesda by Microsoft on the failure of Google Stadia. Ham Solo, do you agree with this assertion?
Oh my god. Yo, Stadia already had their stigma clear before these purchases. Like, I don't know where people are coming up with this. Xbox came out of nowhere and just swept Stadia. No, Stadia was already just not wanted by a lot of people. And even if you had good internet, I know people like Dragonheart Yovi, Cassie Cage. They were in my chat just yesterday, just talking about how they got offered Stadia for free and a membership for free, and they said no. You can have it. You can keep it. If you look in Jeff Keighley's tweet, in case you don't know, Jeff Keighley is a guy that does like game awards and stuff like that.
Come on.
I mean, not everybody watching this may know that stuff, so I feel like if I can, I'll quickly describe who it is. But anyways, so he does like the game awards and whatnot, and I could get through this. I could get through this. It'd be great. But yeah. So Jeff Keighley went on ahead. Yeah, and Stank Mari said in the chat, Cage went off. Yes, she did. But if you look under Keeley's post on Twitter about your favorite thing about Stadia, he had to know what he was doing. Saying something like that. What's your favorite thing about, or what was your favorite thing about Stadia? You can't tweet something like that as somebody like Jeff Keighley and not expect it just to be the worst thread. Because there was one person, and I'm sure Stankma heard this already. There was one person that said, man, I'm actually gonna look this up because this shit was just too funny. But he said something on the lines of like I wish this never came and stuff like that. But here it is right here. Bam. Oh yeah, this person said, I really love today's announcement of it shutting down. Brought me back to the younger days of when it didn't exist.
Okay.
That's the kind you're going to see a lot more people that just don't care about this. Then you're going to see people that do care about it. And it's and it's wild. It's wild. So, going back to your main question as as like if Xbox did anything to this. No. Stadia already had that stank. Sorry, stank ma.
Oh,
but Stadia already had that. Stadia already had that. I think they took that word maybe before you, stank ma, because they just ain't good. I mean, they work good, but they don't they didn't acquire anything to become better. They clearly weren't competing with anybody, and you've seen that. You've seen that with the way that they moved. You're not really competing. You're just here. You're on the bench, but you don't even want to be in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's what I felt like with Stadia. So I don't want to hear anybody's excuses of, oh, big bad Microsoft bought a couple things and they got us in a bunch and they cornered us to make this. No, nobody cornered you. Nobody was even looking at you. Nobody cared about you. It just is what it is. The only people that really like cared were the people that were willing to pay for it. Nobody else cared about it.
Which was like you, me, and like 6 people down the street in Arkansas. Nobody else wanted it, and that's why
2 games.
That's why they're shutting it down. Cozy, do you think Microsoft is to blame for the Stadia?
All of what Ham said. Like, it was like, oh, because of the Bethesda thing. There were other studios. There are loads of other studios that would have been like, yeah, we'll make games for you. They didn't, yeah, they did. They were not trying to compete. It was like all the signs were there. I think, if they tried to compete, they could have done so much more, but they weren't even trying. They were just sitting there like, yeah, bench warming. Bring in the rest of the team, their cups of water and stuff like that. They did not put out any single effort other than just existing. There was nothing. It was like, so when they talk about, but that's not the only studio out there. There's so many studio options. There are plenty of studios that they could have picked up and were like, okay, we're going to have you make games for us, have you make something for us. And did they do that? No.
They could have bought small studios and did the whole curation thing and said, you know what? Like I said earlier, I'm not even going to go through that. Like I said earlier, they could have tried, but they didn't. And this is where they ended up. It is what it is. I don't feel bad for it at all. I feel bad for the people that paid the money for it, but clearly, as you said earlier, they're getting their money back. So when you get that money back, go buy something that actually has some longevity to it. Don't go straight.
Longevity, nice.
I wouldn't jump out of there and jump to Luna. But I mean, they're still there at least. But I wouldn't advise it.
I mean, but but Amazon is doing it the right. Amazon, if you look at a lot of their stuff that isn't their main focus, they play the long game. They don't try to they haven't been you don't hear about them closing down their studios and shuttering things. They take baby steps to certain industries and
they include it in the Prime. They have an ecosystem.
Yes.
They have an ecosystem where it ties back to it. Stadia did not. Stadia had Google has all these separate great things, and only so many of them are tied together. Like YouTube is tied together great with your Gmail and and
Yep.
Drive, and all these other things with Google. They're all tied really, really well. And it seemed like Stadia was just on a boat somewhere, and it didn't know what it was doing.
Yeah, like
let's go to the chat for a bit.
Yeah.
Osha says they hired Phil Harrison and the Connect guy to lead the project. Who is
don't hate on the Connect.
Who is more synonymous with failure than those two? Seriously, the chat today, you guys, man. Let's positive vibes, okay? Positive vibes. RIP Google Stadia.
I've seen that Grim Reaper thing of Phil Harrison.
Phil Harrison. Dude, it's either he actively wants to destroy the gaming industry, or he's the unluckiest guy on the planet. Because there's no way he fails on purpose. There's no way. It's just coincidence. It must be.
Can you imagine,
right?
like the next, like, let's say he goes to Nintendo or something like that.
That won't happen. Hopefully, I don't think Nintendo's dumb
I'm just
enough.
saying, if I worked for Nintendo, I'd be looking at another option. I'd be like, I better get out of here before my job security is involved.
Well, I don't think even the almighty Phil Harrison, I don't think even he has the ability to bring down Nintendo. Okay,
you're probably right. I mean, they're just too much. But I'm just thinking that would be so wild if his next job was at Nintendo and then somehow they shit the bed.
Curious, like, why did they never do something like integrate, like, Play Store or anything?
Integrate Play Store where?
The Stadia.
Yeah, that would be. That is an interesting point.
Because it'd be kind of cool to be like, oh yeah,
You know why?
Because even the Play Store has achievements.
Effort.
This is a funny one, guys. Here's a funny one. The Play Store has achievements, but Google Stadia didn't launch with achievements.
They should have integrated them. They should have just called it Google Play and then just been like, here's a one. Even Apple TV has Apple Arcade and not whatever, all that. But you're right about that ecosystem thing. I'm like, I would have probably used it more if, because there's some mobile games that I'd prefer to just play on my PC.
I know Microsoft has the bag compared to Google, sure.
Yeah.
But let's not act like it's poor Google. And I feel like people are I feel like people are like saying, "Oh, Google, like they got stomped out by big bag Microsoft." And it's like, bro, like most of the platforms you use are based off of Google. Like you're using Google Chrome, YouTube, all this stuff, and you're gonna say, "Oh, Microsoft, man, you rather use Google Chrome or you trying to use Microsoft Edge?" I mean, I personally use Edge because I like to get those reward points, right? Which
it's also better right now.
Don't start with those reward points. Don't freaking start with those reward points.
Oh, sorry. I mean,
these freaking Microsoft reward points that only cover the United States and Western Europe. Fuck the Microsoft reward points until they come to Africa, South America, and the rest of Asia.
To be fair, right now, Google Chrome is like.
Hold on, I need to go grab my some reward points real quick. Let me look up some stuff.
Right now, Chrome is just bad. They haven't really. It's like, not. I would not use it, but like that didn't do more. Ugh,
last word on Stadia. Please, guys, be honest and be brief. Did you guys play? Did you guys try Stadia?
Yes.
Nope.
Stadia, of course, you did try it. All right. At least we have someone here that
type it on the keyboard.
No, I'm not. What are you typing?
I mean, I'm just hitting random letters, but if you just hit random letters and hit enter in Microsoft Bing, it gives you money.
That's rude.
Moving on.
Rude.
I'm making money.
Moving on. All of you, settle down, you two. Moving on, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Beta was the biggest in series history. This is coming to us from GameRant.com. The Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 team shares an exciting milestone for the open beta and what content to expect in the months to come. The Call of Duty team thanks fans in a blog post revealing that the Modern Warfare 2 open beta had the most players in Call of Duty history. The team assures fans that this was only a small sample of content that is on the way for the game, while including that those who digitally pre-order Modern Warfare 2 will get to play the campaign a week early on October 20th. Is this a big deal that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 had the most players in the series history? Cozy, go first.
Yes. It's hilarious because I think the big thing is people have been like, the whole, especially with the whole Microsoft thing, people have been trying to downplay the importance and the bigness of Call of Duty, acting like Call of Duty is no big deal. Like, and I don't even play Call of Duty, and I'm like, what are you talking about? That's a lie. We all know, Call of Duty is a big deal. And this just is like, yeah, look, Call of Duty is a big deal. You can't say, Call of Duty is not a big deal. So this is just more like show like, yeah, Call of Duty is still a big deal. You can talk like it's not. You can talk like it's not a giant, like it's not an important game, but that doesn't change. The numbers don't lie.
All right. Hamothy, is it a big deal?
Sales wise, yeah. I mean, it's obviously a big deal sales wise, in my opinion. But I mean, to me, this shows I don't know. Maybe I want to be the bearer of bad news, I guess.
As usual.
But maybe this, I don't know how it could. But I'm gonna ask you a question back. Do you think the bigger this game is, the more it hurts this Activision Blizzard deal?
Oh man, that was the second part of the question that I was going to make to you guys. Yes. The bigger Modern Warfare 2 is, the more the CMA is going to look into this. Because Call of Duty on an annual basis is the highest selling AAA game. Now we have a situation where the latest game is the highest selling in the entire history of said franchise. So essentially, Microsoft were buying the footprint that Activision Blizzard or that Call of Duty had last year or the year before, and the current footprint just got larger. So anyone who was looking at this in a monopolistic angle would definitely use this as ammunition. So yeah, this is definitely going to spice things up at the CMA. Okay, let's carry on this one. Shortly after the game's release on October 28th, Warzone 2.0 will arrive free to play on November 16th. The almost 1 month time span will give fans plenty of time to prepare for Warzone 2.0 Season 1 release before then. The blog post describes that after Warzone 2.0 goes live, the next big release is Warzone Mobile, which is launching early next year. On top of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0 beta rewards, the Call of Duty team describes other reward content for Warzone Mobile as it is reported to be the fastest game to top 15 million pre-registrations for Activision Blizzard and King Mobile. Guys, this is insane. Cozy.
Yes.
Could Call of Duty become the most profitable IP in gaming, period?
Yes. I think it's unquestionably a giant, and it has staying power. Yeah, there's no doubt at all.
Oh my God, Hamothy, is there potential for Call of Duty to not only like dominate AAA gaming in terms of revenue, but also beat mobile?
No.
No?
No. I don't think
even with Warzone Mobile that is free.
Oh. Well, if you want to, yeah, if you're tying mobile
about the whole Call of Duty brand, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just talking about this game.
No. Call of Duty Mobile, from what I just said just now, it's already got 15 million pre-registrations. Games coming next year, bro.
I think in that case, yeah, for mobile, I think it could. Yeah, totally. I agree with Cozy on that one, just for the fact that like I have friends that I know that play Call of Duty on mobile. See, I was sitting here thinking you were talking about Modern Warfare 2, and I'm just like, no.
No, I'm talking about Call of Duty as a whole. So we're talking about Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. And I mean, Activision in general is killing it when it comes to like bringing a lot of people together. I totally think that this is an epic opportunity to do it, but man, it's getting wild out there, especially for mobile games. So
let's go.
It's hard for me to say yeah, but I'm gonna say yeah.
All right, let's go to the chat for a bit. Mr. Kima here says, no, it won't hurt at all. Jesus Christ. Mr. Kima, I think this is the first time I've seen you on here. You don't just state stuff. Back it up, man. Back it up. Tell us why this won't hurt it at all. Tell us you're an insider at the CMA and you guys actually and explain the process to us and why this means absolutely nothing. On a side note, I was in a space recently and some PlayStation stands were like, I'm gonna break it down. They were like all these people celebrating the acquisition of Activision. Let me see your gamer score with Call of Duty games. Essentially saying that you shouldn't be talking about Call of Duty if you've never played it before and shouldn't be excited for it if you don't even support the devs. Cozy, what do you feel about this sentiment?
Okay, so here's the thing. You're going to get two different people. A lot of people are praising Call of Duty, don't play it. But they are also ignoring people that are like me, like, I don't play Call of Duty. I don't care about Call of Duty. I'll tame down my words. But this is not for a lot of people necessarily about Call of Duty. I play Overwatch. I expect to even like get some perks in Game Pass Ultimate that will possibly include. Yeah, I expect that. I expect like, points and stuff, for playing, like, when you play a game in Game Pass. Now once if this purchase goes through, all I have to do is play Overwatch. Bam. That's kind of cheating. But anyway, and there's also, Diablo, StarCraft. There's other games. It's like, so everyone wants to make this about Call of Duty because, like, they have, like, this small sort of mentality. But it's sort of like, I don't play Call of Duty. And I'm excited about it because there are other games that they have that I do play. There's also, like, the prospect of bringing back, titles that have been, like, kind of dead.
Tenchu.
There's lots of reason to be excited. Not necessarily just Call of Duty.
Well, Tenchu was published by Activision, but it's not. I don't think they own it though.
Who owns the rights? Because the only stealth game I do. It's the only stealth game I fucks with.
What? Which game?
Tenchu.
Okay. Yeah, Ham.
I-
Just to clear it up, man. Activision
Do they?
owns Tenchu. Yes.
Okay.
So
gonna
how do
take
you
your
feel
word for it.
Okay, how do you feel about the fanatics saying that if you've never played Call of Duty, thou shalt not speak a word on it?
I don't like that sentiment. I never did. Like, I don't understand where people get the idea of like you can't talk about something if you have nothing to do with it. Like, whether it's a real world issue, a small issue, like this, I'd call more of a like small issue, if anything at all. I just think that anybody on the outside looking in is entitled to their opinion. They can have their opinion on something. Whether they can do anything about it is a different thing. Opinions are always welcome, though, because I can't control you. If I
Yeah.
could control you, then yeah, I might be like, shut up. And you're done. But I don't have control over somebody else. So why the hell would I tell somebody you can't speak on something? I don't know what you're doing when I'm not around. What does it matter to me? Anyways, this doesn't affect my life. This just affects entertainment. So I don't care.
Okay. All right. The big one. Well, it's one of the big ones. Accused Grand Theft Auto 6 hacker pleads not guilty to computer misuse. This one comes to us from GameRant.com. The hacker allegedly responsible for recent Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks pleads guilty to breaching bail conditions, but not to computer misuse. According to City of London Detective Inspector Michael O'Sullivan, now that is a British name, the alleged hacker has pleaded not guilty to the charge of computer misuse. The suspect did, however, plead guilty to breaching bail conditions set by an earlier arrest when the then 16-year-old hacker was part of a group of individuals arrested under suspicion of hacking major companies such as Microsoft. As a minor, the Grand Theft Auto 6 hacker's identity will likely stay concealed. Rockstar Games has issued a statement confirming that it had suffered a network intrusion causing information to be taken from its servers, although the Grand Theft Auto developer insists that the incident would have no long-term effect on development. Cozy. Wow. Where to begin with this one? Is it fair to say that this person is right when they say they didn't misuse the computer?
I mean, how technical are we being? Because technically,
Extremely technical. Dude, when you're in court and your life is about to be destroyed, you're gonna search through every little, like, pass through all the little words.
I mean, were they using? Then the question becomes, how did they get into the system? Because we can go down that rabbit hole. Like, technically, it wasn't the computer, but then we can ask how. Yeah, that would be the best.
All right, Ham, is this a viable defense? There was no computer misuse.
I mean, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. I'm gonna be real. I don't even know what defines misuse particularly, because I'm sure all of us technically misuse our computer in one way or another at some point. If not now, maybe in the past you have. I don't now, but I remember when I was younger, like having like Morpheus and Livewire. I'd say LimeWire and stuff like that. I'm sure that's a misuse of my computer.
And I ruined 2 laptops with LimeWire. That was poison.
It was.
That was
So
poison.
if you remember BearShare, Morpheus,
Ooh, BearShare.
Napster, all
Yeah.
of those joints, like that's technically a misuse of your computer. So I mean, if we're
But
going
then
on that basicness of it, yeah, he misused the shit out of his computer. but I don't know what that all entails. So I feel
let me play
uncomfortable
devil's
just
advocate.
saying one or the other.
Let me play devil's advocate. Misuse would be doing something the computer is not intended to do. So we have to remember that lawyers. There's a reason why a lot of people characterize the devil as a lawyer, because lawyers, they're very good with like double speak. So technically, it wouldn't be misuse of a computer if you put in a program that hacks other computers and it works. Technically, you're using the computer to do what it's supposed to do, even if it is breaching another system. Can we agree?
I mean, that's wild, but sure.
No, I'm just saying, we have to think about it from his lawyer's point of view. Misuse of a computer be, I don't know, throwing it in the ocean or doing something it was not intended to do. Taking a computer, opening a program to then breach another program, technically is what, or to open another program. It could be argued that what he did was just open and access another server. So technically, that is not misuse.
Oh my god!
I guess also technically, if the program was designed specifically to do that thing, it wasn't misusing. It was exactly what the software was designed to do.
Exactly. I'm just saying.
That's legalese. That's legalese.
Man, these lawyers.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I got about 20 minutes.
All right. Lastly, we have a Plague Tale Requiem gets an intense story trailer. Please tell me you guys watched the trailer. Cozy, did you watch the trailer?
No, I don't care about no Plague Tale.
Female protagonist leading on a young, helpless, useless, bumbling male.
You just unsold the game. You know, my least favorite thing in
it is a perfect game for 2022.
No, you just unsold. You were like, oh, you basically the entire game is one long escort mission. Okay, you just basically told me that the game is a long mission.
But now
that unsells me. You know, my least favorite after cutscenes. My least favorite thing in any game are forced stealth and escort missions. Nobody likes escort missions except for people like Plague Tale. If you just told someone, hey, want to play what is it, like 10, 15 hour? Want to play a 15-hour escort mission? No.
15 to 18 hour. But okay.
Oh, that makes it better.
The point is a Plague Tale, it turns that trope of the helpless female damsel in distress being rescued by the dashing male, it turns it upside down. So this is the perfect, it subverts the expectations. So this is a perfect game for 2022.
It's a subversive escort mission.
Damn.
Oh, here's escort mission.
I honestly thought like 90% of women would fall in love with the Plague Tale, but all right.
Oh my god. The biases are showing.
It's not the biases. According to what the journalists in mainstream media say, there is not enough female representation in gaming, and that is why we have less females.
Stagmall agrees. Stagmall understands.
Stankmore says, gotta agree with Cozy. I don't mind cutscenes though. Thank you, Stankmore. All right, Ham Solo. Did you watch the trailer for A Plague Tale Requiem?
Absolutely. I love that.
You love it?
Yeah, man. I love the first one. I thought the first one was fantastic. The story was really good. And I'm excited to play the next one. I believe A Plague Tale just left Game Pass. The first one did.
Yes,
Innocence.
yes. Innocence left Game Pass. Requiem is coming on the 23rd, 21st?
21st.
Yeah, so we have an interesting little study here. The game with a female protagonist has the male panelist in love and the female panelist saying no thank you. Do with that what you will.
Well, all right, moving on.
Game predictions. Game predictions. We have Overwatch 2 coming out October 4th. Cozy, don't be biased. What's
She's
the
feeling
score?
rosy.
What is the prediction for Overwatch 2?
I'm going to say 83.
83. All right. M Solo, Overwatch 2. They're literally overwatching us with the phone numbers and the audio chats, audio logs. They're definitely overwatching us. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say 85.
85. Okay, next we have Nier Automata. Cozy. Sorry, Nier Automata coming out on Nintendo Switch. It's on the other platforms, but it's launching on the Switch October 6th. Go ahead, Cozy.
It's cloud only, isn't it?
I didn't check. Go, Nier Automata.
I'm gonna give it a whatever it got for PlayStation.
Okay, whatever it got for PS. Ham Solo.
82.
Nier Automata. 82. Lastly, we have. I don't even know if this can run, but okay. No Man's Sky is coming to Nintendo Switch October 7th.
Oh my god.
Cozy, what's the score for this game?
Is it also cloud?
Cozy, I didn't check.
That changes the answer. I need to know if it's cloud or not, because that will definitely change the answer.
No Man's Sky on Nintendo Switch. What's the score?
What are you looking up if it's cloud?
I'm not. I'm really not.
Oh, come on.
No Man's Sky on Nintendo Switch coming out October 7th. What's
I'll
the
go
score?
first while she looks it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So No Man's Sky for the Nintendo Switch, I'm giving that a 68.
68. Okay. The game results for last week.
I'll give it. It looks like it's not cloud, so I'll give it. You took the best answer. I will give it a 71.
71. FIFA 23 last week. The score was 80. So Grace actually scored that one. Ham. That's 1 to Grace. World of Warcraft.
Just go ahead and tell me I lost. I suck at this.
Don't be a negative Nelly. It might just work out for you.
I'm not negative. I'm smiling. I'm just being real. Suck.
Damn, you're taking that L on the chin. All right, Moon Scars. The score was 75. Again, Grace got this one correct.
Whoa!
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's Grace pretty much dominating.
Were there only 2?
No. Hold on. We also had Moon Scars, but okay. Moon Scars, the score was the highest score was 75. Oh no, we already did Moon Scars. Valkyrie Elysium, the score is 65. And Grace was the closest to that one as well.
Oh my
with
god.
79. So that's 3 to Grace.
That
and lastly,
game
we have
took a dump though. Like I didn't see that coming.
It looks fine. I saw the gameplay, and it looks fine to me. Like I'm not
saying the gameplay is bad. The game could be a great game. I mean, let's be real. Metacritic is not spot on when it comes to telling you if a game's good or bad. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't have anticipated just the utter failure that it had on Metacritic. I didn't anticipate that.
Yeah, that was unexpected. 65? Wow.
What was the user score though?
User score, hold on. Valkyrie, Elysium. User score is not out yet.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah.
All right. Continue.
User score is not out. Well, let's do notable tweets and then we're gonna have to go. The first one is from Destin Legary.
Yeah, Destin
He said, He said, I literally laughed out loud when I saw that customer support was a reward for PlayStation stars. Still excited for the program, but WTF Sony. Cozy, how do you feel about PlayStation stars rewarding people with customer support, with better customer
Here
support?
we go.
No. So as someone who's worked in IT, you do have different tiers of customer support. I think the bigger, you do. That's natural. That's okay. It's like whatever. Good. I think the bigger issue is,
what is it?
Why does their customer service suck? They need to work on actually having better customer service.
Straight up, you just said that, Cozy?
Yeah. I guess because, having worked with various supports, worked with Steam, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. Actually, I've had to contact Nintendo the most. It's sort of like, it's like the only ones that I've had decent experience, I've had good experiences mostly with Nintendo. I've had decent experiences with Steam and Microsoft. I've had subpar experiences with Sony.
All right. So it's fair that they are giving people better customer support if they're on PlayStation stars. Okay, Hamothy, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's silly. It's silly. Well, because it's just like, dude, like there's already been a lot of people that complain about PlayStation's customer service and whatnot. And now the messaging, in my opinion, is we sucked before, but if you want us to be good to you, give us some money. I don't like that. I think that sounds, it'd be different if they provided great service and they're like, wait a second, let's actually treat you a little bit more, but give you an option to get, even better service than we already provided. We already provided great. No, it's just like, man, PlayStation, I've heard plenty of PlayStation's cats already complain about, the service is bad when I call. Especially when it comes to like refunding your games and stuff like that. It's just not very helpful. D, which is on GRG, she lost her account. And in trying to get it, they said that they said something about she needed to pay $100 or some dollars or whatnot when she already had canceled the card that they were trying to spend it on. She canceled her card and put in new information for her other card, but they never transferred it. So they tried to charge her old card and it didn't work and they closed off her account. And it's just she got fees from them for that stuff. And it's just like I'm just trying to say, it's just like she had a really bad experience and it's just you can have bad experiences anywhere, but it's very consistent. It seems like from a lot of people on the internet. So obviously Twitter is just a small portion of it, but I just think that it's just kind of I'm not with it exactly. I'm not with this
Right.
decision right now, especially when you just upcharged your console. You just upcharged the video games, and now there's a upcharge for good service. There's a upcharge for haptic feedback. It's just like upcharge, 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 upcharge for anything from them. And it just is like, it's just, to me, it just doesn't set a good precedent as of right now, when you know you can get just as good, sometimes better, sometimes worse quality from the competitor.
Okay, well, an
I do see
important
what
thing to
Cozy's
note.
saying, though. I do see what Cozy's saying,
Yeah,
though. There are other companies that do have tiers of service. I just think that, to me, it shows that PlayStation needs money, and it's like that company, JG Wentworth, 877 cash now.
877 cash now.
Yeah.
If I haven't a
where's my
nothing, but I need cash now. Call JG Wentworth. 877
You know
cash.
what?
Great.
You
Thanks.
can
Thanks.
crap on them all
Thanks.
It's
you
my
want.
money, and I need it now.
It's
Ham,
your
you can
money.
crap on
Use
them
it when
all
you
want,
need it.
but you just started. You sang like just the first 2 seconds, and Cozy immediately finished it. I mean, that is a
Yeah,
solid
you know
marketing
you know
campaign.
that song?
No, I do not.
Okay, so that
Not in
song lives
America.
rent free probably in just about every American's head.
Ham.
It's
You
not.
said it.
I'm not
You said
making
about
that up.
America. You said it. You can never take that back. We are saving that.
You're not in America. You're not.
Yes, we are
You could
saving
probably
that.
sing
Texas
start
has
singing that song in a
recently
bar,
annexed
and
itself.
people would literally sing it. It's like that. It's like probably one of the most famous commercial jingles. No joke.
Is it more famous than "Oh, say, can you see"?
See, listen
No.
to this
Probably get more
American.
people. No, it's probably not more famous, but you'd get more people to sing it the latter if you just walked down the street.
Right. Okay.
Let's not throw too much shade
let's
at
get back
this
on top.
African American that we have leading us through the show.
Bite me, Ham. Bite me. I think it's worth noting, right, that it is free to enroll in PlayStation Stars. I'm not trying to be the PlayStation defender here, but it is free. You don't have to pay to get the PlayStation Stars service. The issue with customer with the extra attention to customer care is you need to be like a high level in the PlayStation Stars program, which means you have to complete the campaigns, which include platinuming a blockbuster title in your local time zone, earning points, and getting digital collectibles, etc., etc. So basically, putting you on that hamster wheel, the Sony hamster wheel, to make sure you like spend all your extra money in the Sony metaverse, basically.
But that is paying to get better service, so that is what that is. Though it's just dug in.
It's a roundabout way. Yeah, true. All right, fine. I'm done defending Sony. Let's move on to the next notable tweet. In-game Hector says this sort of communication style and openness to feedback are a few of the many reasons why I love Xbox. He's responding to at Gabe saying to Timdog, xCloud Timdog, I still don't understand how it's not a feature you can disable. It's amazing for a lot of games, but when it tries to quick resume an online game, it absolutely breaks it and you have to manually quit. If only an option to disable it for such games existed. Phil freaking Spencer replied and said, good feature ask, makes sense. We will put it on the list of things to look at. Ham, do you feel that Xbox has an extra je ne sais quoi when it comes to communicating with their community?
100%. Yeah, I do. I really do, because I feel like it does help that they're willing to not only speak with, people on Twitter and stuff like that, but they also do speak with like the community on like YouTube and stuff like that. and they build trust very well in a community aspect. They're working on it from the gaming aspect, though. They know what's wrong or whatnot, and they listen to our gripes. Whether they always go through with it or not is a different story. But we know and this is a strength of Xbox and also a detriment as well. Is sometimes they listen too much. Sometimes they listen so much. Like, look at Halo. They listened a little too much and things fell apart in certain ways from the community to 343, right? The communication between the two. But the nice thing is that you can tell that they care. And to open up, to open up and have Phil Spencer hop onto a tweet from somebody that's just the head of the business, the one that answers to Satya Nadella. That guy reaches out to somebody that has a tweet that says something about, whether it be DVR or this specific situation with what was it exactly? The quick resume. Right.
Yeah,
so I'm to get that kind of clarity to where it's not like because damn well a Jim Ryan ain't ever gonna do that. Damn well. I mean, keeping it real. Damn well a Jim Ryan isn't gonna do it. Bowser ain't finna do shit like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Even back a while. Maybe I feel like Sony had the one guy that would do something like that in Sean Layden.
Yes,
Sean Layden might do something like that, right? But it puts a face to the company when Xbox does this kind of stuff. It puts faces to it, and it makes people like feel more genuine about it compared to maybe Sony, where it's almost like an invisible like judge is everywhere, and you can't really tell them anything. They just tell you what you got to do.
Yeah, this is not a conversation, bruv. This is not a conversation.
Right, exactly.
Okay, lastly, we have Oh No, It's Alex, one of the best YouTubers out there. If you don't know him, please search for this dude. Oh No, It's Alex. Trust me, you will thank me. He said $70 for Skyrim. How the F is Skyrim $70 fucking dollars? Bethesda, Nintendo, Microsoft can F off into the fucking okay, whatever. He's losing his crap about the fact that Skyrim has been re-released for the millionth time, and now it's $70. Cozy, are you buying the Skyrim Anniversary Edition on Nintendo Switch?
No. I mean, no. But the other thing to think about is like, so did they have to make the game for Switch? Like, they just port it, like, or did they just like, is it specially made for Switch?
No, they ported it.
So why does it cost so much? Is it physical? Is that why?
It's physical and digital.
It's not going to cost cheaper. What do you call it? What's the word? Physically. And we already know those what you call it are more expensive. That's, I think, just what happened.
Yeah, it's the Anniversary Edition. So
it includes everything?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. It includes all the previous DLCs.
It seems like a lot of money, but I mean, we already know there's a Switch tax. Like, it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but we know that there's a Switch tax. it's sort of like,
thank you,
Cozy. That's
Cozy.
what you get for playing games on the Switch. If you're
Thank
playing
you,
on the
Cozy.
Switch, just expect people to charge you more because A, that's a tedious task for people. Most people who play the Switch only play Nintendo games, so it's like, or certain other games like Japanese games. But so a lot of that is going to be like that. In addition, you're always going to have to charge more if you make a physical version because you can't, because of the way the market works, you can't charge less for digital versus physical. I wish you could, but they don't.
Okay. Ham Solo. Okay, before we go to Ham, Usher says Breath of the Wild is still $60. That's a game from
That's
2000.
different. That's Nintendo doesn't. No, Nintendo doesn't lower their prices because people will buy Nintendo games at the price they're at.
Exactly. And that's why I say no, it's not different. That's why I say no, it's not different, because the Switch knows, or Nintendo knows that people will still buy it. That people will still.
Well, the price.
Everybody.
The price for a non-Nintendo game has nothing to do with the price for a Nintendo game.
Yes, it does. You think Nintendo is just like, oh, Microsoft wanted this money. Oops, it's $70. Blame it on Microsoft. I'm sure that's what they want you to think. Nintendo's trying to make as much money as they possibly can off of a Bethesda game because they ain't getting that many Bethesda games. So
Nintendo's not going to be making the bulk of that price because it's not their game.
Sure, exactly. That's why the price is up higher, because they want to get as much out of it as they can. This ain't no free ride. Nintendo's like, yo, Bethesda games are not going to be coming out as they may have once did for Nintendo in general. So let's capitalize on this as much as as much as we can. This is pretty much like a little piece of gold in it, because you can't get very many other Bethesda games. So yeah, we're gonna tax the hell out of this, and people are gonna buy it. People will buy it. I feel like I think it's funny that you look on Twitter and people are saying, why would Microsoft and Bethesda let this happen? And it's like, yo, it says Nintendo right there. It doesn't say Xbox. It doesn't say Microsoft. Yes, of course, there may be a tax on it. Yeah, of course, it might be a little, more bread is going to be falling in their pockets for this, sure. But best believe Nintendo was like, bet, let's go. Let's do this. This makes sense. They didn't look at this like, this might be a hit or miss. They looked at this like, this is going to be a dub. And on top of it, it's not just base Skyrim. Everybody thinks this is
it isn't.
Base Skyrim. This is not just Skyrim. This is the entire package of Skyrim. So if you bought those separately on a different console, you paid more than that. I'm not saying that I'd love to pay $70 for this game. I'm just saying I get it.
It's pretty much $60 and $10 for the DLC for all the extra content, which is the $60 was the standard price of Skyrim when it released on Switch. The standard Skyrim, it was $60. So it's not like it's costing a whole lot more, but the handful of all 5 Nintendo gamers that are like, I will play this on my Switch, that's what you expect of the Switch. And if a game doesn't sell, then it will drop. There are games that do drop in price on Switch because they don't sell. But if a game is selling, like, you can pick up some Switch exclusives that I've played for like $20 because they don't sell. But if the game is selling, it's, they don't have to lower the price because half it's
it's counterintuitive.
It's a Switch experience.
Not just the Switch experience. Technically, you could say that Switch or Nintendo is the only one that's paying attention to their metrics in a responsible manner. If you're selling something and people are paying for it, the conclusion that you come to is not, oh, let me lower this and make it cheaper so even more people buy. No. If people are already buying it, you keep it at the same price, and sometimes you even freaking increase the price. So we could say that Nintendo is the most fiscally responsible of the publishers out there. Whereas Microsoft, Sony, and Steam, regardless of how a game is selling, 2 years later, it's $30.
I think what people forget though is like, because the Switch blew up, so you have a lot of people who are just buying the Switch and haven't really bought a lot of Nintendo games historically, right? So they're like, why is this so expensive? Switch games, you tend to actually be able to get them for cheaper than relative to their initial price than a lot of other Nintendo systems were. 3DS games rarely dropped in price, and DS games only started dropping in price a lot of times after the 3DS came out.
Okay, let's go to the cheaper bit.
Yeah.
Osha says the way that Nintendo exploits people's childhoods is criminal. The anniversary edition was cheaper for the PS4 and Xbox One. The game was $50 on Xbox One and PS5.
So I asked this. I asked this last question because I got to move on because I got to get going. Actually, I'm actually 10 minutes late compared to where I was supposed to be. But anyways, the one thing I wanted to add was, do you think Xbox was looking at Nintendo and being like, you know what, we're gonna rip you guys off, but treat PlayStation on this? No, PlayStation took what they could out of this and sold that anniversary. Nintendo said, let's put an extra charge on it because it's a cartridge. Cartridges are more to make.
Yep.
They are. I mean, if you remember the 64 days and the PlayStation, the same game was like a $20 difference. It was crazy. But there's that, and there's also just greedy Nintendo, and I don't blame them because people are gonna buy it.
Yes, dude. I don't even have a Switch. When I saw this announcement, I was like, damn, imagine having Skyrim on Nintendo Switch running perfectly. Because I haven't beaten Skyrim. I think I barely touched that thing. I would like to eventually play it properly and finish it. And if I had a Switch, I'd be buying it. Because it has everything. So for me, this is, I mean, it's not good for the consumer, that's for sure. But for Nintendo, genius. Absolute genius.
Bravo. Bravo, right, you did it again.
Hey man, at least they're consistent. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end. It's been a pretty short show, but we have to love and leave you. Thank you so much to Oshus. Thank you to Stankma. Thank you, Mr. Kima. We're still waiting on you to expagorate on your point. Too big. Thank you to everyone that came through. Special thanks to our supporters on Patreon. We're still working on that special thing for you. We should have it ready in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much. And on that note, goodbye.
See you later.
Later, tots.